Hi, so my name is Dwayne. I'm just doing this because I thought I should. I don't know why. I just feel comfortable, I guess. Doing videos is something I've always wanted to do, but never really stuck with it. So let's try it again this year, I guess. So my 2019, this is what I want to do. Last year, I had a plan, but I made it too late in the year. I didn't really push forward with any of it. I mean, I did a couple things here and there, but I didn't really do as much as I really planned to do or set out to do. And I think the reason for that is I made too many plans. I brought up too many projects. I kept thinking about doing all these different things and try to keep finding a solution for each one of them right then and there. So in 2019, I actually want to get stuff done. I want to actually make connections, make a lot more connections, and try to get sponsors because I want to be in the automotive market. So I really want to get these sponsors, and I will need them because the main thing I want to do is I want to work on the Ridgeline. There's many reasons why I picked the Ridgeline, being along with that it's kind of the underdog in the truck world. Everyone, all the big manufacturers and everyone who has a Ford, Dodge, Chevy, even Toyota, they look at the Ridgeline and they say, hey, it's not a truck. Come on, it's a Unibody. It's a Pilot. Okay, darn. What's the Avalanche? Why do you call the Avalanche a truck, but it's technically just the same as the Ridgeline, but on a frame? The bed's connected to the back of the truck. Like, I just never fully understand, like, why do you hate it so much? Just like the Prius. For America, and here in America, we hate the Prius, right? Only the majority of people will hate the Prius because it's a Prius. I don't know why. Even though before the Prius, there were a lot of cars that were a lot more fuel economic or fuel efficient. I don't keep saying economic. I don't know why. But before the Prius, there was a lot of cars that were really fuel efficient, and even cars that the Prius's design obviously came from, cough, cough, the Insight. But just like that, the Prius in Japan, for a couple years, it got Japan's Car of the Year. It was Japan's car. It was the Prius. Not a GTR, not anything crazy. It was Prius. But here in America, we hate it. Just like the Ridgeline. In Japan, it's a great truck. I don't know if they really have it in Japan that much. There's a couple videos and people that I've seen that have it, but in more populated areas, more obviously in the city, you won't see as many pickups because, well, have you ever tried parking your pickup truck in a parking garage? Well, you stake out like 10 feet because they're not made for trucks. It's made for little cars, like you see in Japan and all these places. Unless you're in the open countryside, just like Japan, then you can kind of go have fun and drift and go have a bigger vehicle. But if you're in the city, you're gonna have these little cars. But like the Ridgeline, it gets so much hate because why? So what? It has the same front structure. It has the same subframe and front like structure as the Ridgeline, but everything else is different. Obviously, it does. I mean, it doesn't fully look like a Pilot, but yeah, it shares some things from the Pilot. But the whole body and the whole look of it isn't a Pilot. It's a Honda. It looks similar to a Pilot because, well, it's a Honda. It's not a Nissan that looks like a Honda, a Pilot. It's a Honda. Kind of like the Chevy Traverse, kind of looks like a Ford Explorer, just a Chevy. Or kind of how the Ford Explorer kind of looked like the old Land Rovers. The Ford Explorer used to be a boxy car. It used to be a minier Expedition, right? But now it looks completely different. I don't know. I see it this way, but that's my own opinion. But I got this truck pretty much because I needed a new truck, and so I got this one. I found it on the market, and as a kid, I knew about this truck, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I knew, when looking at the truck, I knew all the features. I knew it had a dual action tailgate. It flips down and flips over. It also, the tailgate can hold up to 500 pounds, just the tailgate, something my Silverado couldn't do without damage. I mean, it could do it. I just kind of dented it a lot, and it sucked because how did I do that? Well, I have a tractor with a bucket, and sometimes you have to put heavy things into it, and sometimes heavy things don't make it all the way, and it dented it. So, yeah. But in the Ridgeline, I don't have that problem. I can fit the full bucket inside the bed, and it won't dent. It won't scratch. If it does scratch, if it does do like a deep scratch somehow, it'll be black all the way through. It's not metal. It's steel composite. So it's pretty much little steel shards mixed with a bunch of plastic and other stuff that make it really strong, doesn't dent, and stays the same color for all its life. But I also had like a V6. I thought that was really cool. It's something I've never really driven anything with the V6, so I thought, hey, this will be cool. So it had that, the dual action tailgate, but above that, above the bed being composite, it has a trunk in the bed, and it's fully waterproof, and even it's where the spare sits, and it's enough room that you can have a bunch of drinks in there with a bunch of ice, because it also functions as a cooler. Because it has a little drain plug on the bottom, and you can drain it, which is sick. I've never used it as that, but if I ever have like a good get-together or something, hell yeah, I'll use it. For right now, that's where I keep all my tools. I used to have a toolbox on the Silverado, and well, all the tools that were in there, plus some awesome new ones that I'm so grateful and thankful for, are now in there, kept watertight and locked to the central locking system of the Ridgeline. That I can also turn on or off inside the glove box. It's a crew cab, I guess you would call it. So you have the full rear seats that fold up and have room underneath and all that fun jazz. And it has a nice radio. That's stock radio, I guess. No, it's the upgraded from the stock. So it has tweeters. It has the two 6 point. What was originally, I think, 6 1/4 inch speakers in the doors, and I replaced with 6.5. So that's 6.5 inch speakers, and then subs. It had a factory sub, but I put a new sub in it. It's nothing crazy like I actually really wanted, but then I thought about it a bit more and was like, okay, I don't really feel like paying $500 on subs when I could spend a lot less and figure out ways to make this work. So I did that, and it sounds good. It's not crazy like I wanted it, but it sounds really good, and I like it. It really helps the music feel a lot better in the car. This tweeter's great. Everything's great. But I have a lot of plans for the truck, which I'll talk about in another video. And I want to clean the garage. I want to make this 57, I don't want to work on the 57 at all, this year at least. I want to make it able to drive. Not drive. I want to make it at least able to be like a rolling chassis. And then, sorry, I thought I heard something. And then, I want to work on the farm a lot more. I already started on the irrigation control. My grandma said that she was talking to some people, I guess in like the city government or whatever, about some watershed thing, and they can come and fix the irrigation problem. But I don't know if that's really for free, because they don't really just give out stuff to anyone. So, because if they did that for everyone in farm country, we wouldn't have any money left. I mean, yeah, it's cool to help the farmers, but like, if it's gonna cost over like $10,000 to do this, are they really going to spend that much money? Because the land doesn't perk, so water doesn't disperse into the ground as it does, say, in somewhere like Cali. So you have to use, in Montgomery County, you have to use a specific type of sand if you're going to have a septic system, versus in a neighboring county of Frederick County, you can use a bunch of different ones. I don't know. That's weird. But yeah, I started on irrigation. I want to really continue on that until this all gets figured out. I want to actually have it working and something kind of helping versus not doing anything at all, and it stays consistently stays just a mess, and that mess just gets piled on and piled on by more dirt and runoff from the field that's pretty much bare, and all the dirt just gets run off and goes and makes it even muddier. So I said, no, I'm just gonna fix it, and so I did that. At least I started on it. I would like to actually get like 6-inch piping and run all the lines and everything into the pond, where the pond would be the sitting pool, and then the cleaner water would go out into the stream. That's how I want to do it. That's technically the correct way to do it. Other than those containers, I guess you could put it like the sump pump in, and you can pump it out too. There's that too. That's another idea I could do. Because of how the water doesn't really disperse. You could put the rocks and everything, but I could also just put a sump pump that'll, when the water gets to a certain level in there, it'll automatically turn on and just shoot the water into the pond. But I have to get all the water from the field and everything to move to a few different single locations instead of just everywhere, you know. And the last big thing that I want to do is I want to set up the yarn sales a lot more this year. I was thinking about it last year. Like, I opened an Etsy page, I even opened a Facebook page for the farm, and I really pushed forward with doing some of these things, but I never really stuck with it, kind of like making videos. So I want to really do that. I want to make up new prices. So I already thought about some of it. $25 for pretty much all the old stock, except for a few. Like if we have any more black available, those will be at 30, because it's a very, we don't really have any natural black anymore. Any black that we have now is either a mix of some of the other colors, or it's a dye. And I don't really want to dye things as much as I want to keep the natural colors. And then we have like pastel colors. So I want to make those 35, since we have a very limited stock, and it's a very special color. So we have a few pastel colors in, of course a lot more naturals. The natural colors will stay at 25, and then we have ones that are like a white strand and the brown strand, and they're just mixed together, and it just makes it look really cool. We have two types of those, one that's gray, and then we have grays, so that'll be with the black for 30. So all of those would be those $30 ones. That'll be a little bit more, but nothing crazy dyes like the pastels. So those would be the new prices. That'll help me get it online. To do any of this, I have to inventory everything. So actually I want to get like a shelf with a bunch of smaller bins that I can just put everything in and keep it organized, you know. So that way I can put it online. I want to try to get on Facebook Market. I want to try to get on Etsy a lot further. And I mean, I could go ahead and do like Craigslist, but I'll just link it to either Etsy or Facebook. Etsy and Facebook. Perfect. And I also want to get back into a few small businesses. I was going to say self-employed, I don't know why, but that's what I want to do with it, is I want to make it a self-employment opportunity. And so I want to get it back into shops where I had really good deals with, like at So Original in Sandy Spring. I had a really good deal where I can do a trunk sale, selling yarn right up front of the shop, making, I think it was 60-40, so I'd get 60, she'd get 40, or something like that. And I think it was that. But yeah, I really just want to get the yarn set up and everything, and I'm only going to give myself pretty much 3 projects, 3 major projects, because the farm is a constant project. It hasn't been touched in over 10 years, really. It hasn't been fully like worked on, and it hasn't been built any further than it is. And my grandpa obviously had plans and obviously had dreams for this place, but why I care about this farm so much is because of him. He put all this work and he left all of this for us. So I gave up everything in Cali and moved here to help my grandma and to keep that farm going. Because that means a lot. I don't usually look at race as a big thing, because though I obviously look black, a lot of people when I'm playing online, you can't see me, they think I'm a white kid. And, I'm black, yeah, I am white. My mom's white and Asian, Korean. And in my dad's lineage, we have Native American of I think this is, I don't know how to say it, Sao? Is it Sao? Sioux? I think it's Sao. But that tribe, I think it's like out of Oklahoma, which makes sense because my grandpa. But, yeah, so that's pretty much all the things I want to do. And a lot of them are going to take a lot of support and a lot of help. Not really from friends, but from family, something I've never really considered. That's due to, like, I guess growing up, I just never really considered them in supporting me on what I'm doing or trying to do. But you never know how it'll work, so I'm really looking forward to grow and push a lot further in everything I'm doing.